thought to yourself, well, I think I can just figure out my branding myself. I don't really need any kind of help. I mean, I can go on Pinterest, I can do some research, I can find a nice style, I can pick out fonts, and I can look at some free resources to help me put together a color palette. There's heaps of these cool color palette websites and things, and there's a few good examples online of how to pair fonts. Surely I can work this out, and I'm not going to need any kind of help or guidance, because surely it's not that hard just to figure out a brand style. Well, in today's video, let's talk about some of the problems with trying to go it alone and not getting the help with your brand style. I'm Tabitha Emma, and I'm a brand design educator, and I help creatives go from vision to visuals so they can create a compelling brand that attracts, connects, and converts. Now, you might be thinking that it can't be that hard to come up with a brand style. I mean, you can go on Etsy and get some pre-made branding where they've already done the color palette and fonts and a logo for you, or you can go on Pinterest, put together a nice brand board and come up with some ideas, and you can pick out a color palette using a color palette generator. You can go on sites where it gives you some different font pairing, and you can work out some fonts that look good that you really love. Maybe you can look at a few different other brands that you really love and copy the fonts that they're using. And with a logo, you could probably purchase a pre-made logo. It can't be that hard just to create a really beautiful brand. And no, it's not that hard to create a pretty looking brand, but that's the problem, is you'll just end up with a kind of pretty nice looking brand, but it's not a strategic brand and it doesn't communicate anything about your business. And the problem with that then is that you're not going to be attracting the right kind of people, you're not going to be sending the right message, and you're going to quickly end up getting over it because you realize it's not the right fit and it doesn't feel quite right. So what are you supposed to do then if DIYing it without any guidance is only going to end up with you getting over your brand very quickly and have a brand that's really ineffective? It might be pretty, but ineffective. You might think that your only option then is to hire it out, to just hand it all over to someone else and they can do all your brand strategy or your brand design. They can take over the whole process and deliver you this perfect thing. And that would be the dream, wouldn't it? To just hand it off to someone else and they do all the work and they give you that final thing. But you might have troubles with this for two reasons. One, you might just not have the budget for that. If you have the budget for it, then great, go for it. But if you don't have the budget for that, then you might be floundering and thinking, well, what am I supposed to do until I have enough for that? Is there some other alternative that's a bit cheaper than that where I can still get a bit of help but without having to hire out the whole thing? Now, the other problem is if you don't have enough brand clarity, if you don't really know for sure what you want to communicate about your brand, you're a bit unsure about exactly who your audience is or what your brand message is and different elements of your brand. If you're not quite sure about those things, you can end up sending a designer down the wrong track, and while they'll create something really beautiful for you, it might still not be effective because you weren't actually clear about what it is that you want to communicate about your brand. The missing piece that you really need to get your brand right and create something that is going to be effective and is going to last and is going to make you confident and is going to attract the right people is getting brand clarity. So you either need to get guidance and help so that you can do that yourself, so you can really get clear on that and create a strategic brand and know exactly what it is you want to communicate with your branding, or you'd need to hire a brand strategist, someone that can help guide you through, help chat with you and figure it out along with you. Now, hiring somebody to do this for you is going to cost you quite a lot of money and you might not have the budget for that. So how can you try and get that clarity without having to outsource the whole entire process? Well, that's why I designed my course, Define Your Brand Style. It's to help any creative, whether you have design skills or not, to really get that clarity around your branding and work out exactly what it is you want to communicate, and then be able to translate that into a visual style so that your branding is going to go in the right direction. It's not going to end up going down the wrong way, look really pretty but send the wrong message. You're going to know exactly what path and what direction you need to take your branding so that it's going to last and be effective. And if you haven't heard already, Define Your Brand Style is currently open, and this is the last time I'm launching this course, so this is your last chance to get in and get that help to get brand clarity. Now, it won't be long till it closes, so if it's something that interests you, make sure you check that out as quickly as possible. You'll find the link down in the description below. And if you have any questions about it, if there's anything you're unsure about, if you want to be sure if it's right for you and if it's really going to help you, then make sure you reach out, contact me so that I can help you work out whether this is something that's going to help your brand. brand. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you were someone that thought I could just figure this out myself, there's plenty of DIY options out there, well, I hope this got you thinking that maybe that might actually take you down the wrong track and you might be wasting time and money on something that long term isn't going to work for you. And it also helped you to realize just how important it is to get brand clarity and why that is the most vital piece to a strong brand. Again, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. You can leave a comment, send a DM, send an email, however you want to contact. Make sure you reach out and we can have a chat. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about branding, graphic design and creativity, then be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time.